Breaking news. Big move by Jack Smith. What do you make of it?
I think it's a brilliant move, Chris, because essentially what they're saying is we're going to do whatever we can to get a ruling from the Supreme Court on presidential immunity as soon as we can. And we're going to make a two-tracked effort. First, we're going to ask the Court of Appeals to expedite its briefing schedule, but we're not going to wait for them. In the meantime, we're going to ask the Supreme Court for what's called certiorari before judgment. It's a very rare procedural move where you essentially get to leapfrog the Court of Appeals.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So it looks like Jack Smith, man, in his own hubris, may have actually destroyed his own case. And it may actually destroy even the Georgia case, the non-federal case also. And it's starting to look like the man really is obsessed. Jack Smith is really obsessed with the idea of making his bones destroying Donald Trump. And you know, it's not just about doing his job. It's not just about following the facts or following the law. It really does look like he's obsessed most of all with making Donald Trump serve time behind bars before the 2024 election.
Jonathan Turley, constitutional law attorney and a Fox News contributor. Professor Turley, I want to ask you about Hunter in just a second. But first of all, to this action that Jack Smith, the special counsel, took earlier today, filing a petition with the Supreme Court to determine whether or not Donald Trump has immunity from prosecution. He's trying to keep his case on track for a March start, which is just a couple of days before Super Tuesday. What's your read of all of this?
Well, it's not that this has never been attempted before, but it is not the regular order of things. Smith had just filed, or this matter was just filed before the D.C. Circuit. And then he decided that he wanted to leapfrog over the Court of Appeals and go directly to the Supreme Court. The only reason for that is that he is really focused entirely on trying Trump during this campaign and trying to convict him before the election. The question is whether the Supreme Court's going to feel that that is such an urgent priority that you actually bring this case before Super Tuesday. Usually the Supreme Court likes to hear from multiple Court of Appeals. They certainly want normally to hear from at least one on these issues. And so they may not have the same sense of priority as Smith, who seems almost obsessed with trying Trump before the election.
Is there any other reason other than politics to want to do that?
Well, there's a tactical reason. If Trump wins, he can pardon himself, and then Smith will never see a jury in this case. I mean, so if Trump does prevail in the election, if he's not convicted at that point, he can give himself a preemptory pardon. He doesn't have to wait for the trial.
Yeah, you guys see that. I absolutely agree with Jonathan Turley. I really can't think of a time that I haven't agreed with Jonathan Turley. He's a very, very smart guy. And one thing I think he kind of undersold, though, he said it's almost as if Smith is obsessed. And I think Jack Smith absolutely is obsessed. There is no good reason with an allegedly Democrat-friendly judge and a Democrat-friendly appeals circuit, there's no reason that you need to leapfrog everyone and get to the Supreme Court. It's total gamesmanship, and he actually blew it. He made a bad move. You know, I believe that he believes that Joe Biden's weakness and Joe Biden's unpopularity is actually going to cost him his glory and his place in history as the guy who took down Donald Trump. You know, he does not want to let that go. And I think really the Supreme Court probably should wait to see what an appeals court says. You know, just let the process play out. If the process is good, and they say it's good, and if the filings really are proper, and they say that they are, and if Jack Smith really has the law behind his actions, and he says that he does, then why not let the system work as intended? That's all I've got, guys. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. And if you haven't already, guys, help us to continue to grow. Like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. We'll see you in the next one.